I better take this off. Recognize that? So, I just thought I'd come back and try to share a few thoughts on the passing of such a major figure in life, in history, Aretha Franklin, for me, okay, let me just try and okay. Okay, Aretha Franklin's influence and what she did goes far beyond just music. The sound of her voice, her compositions, the records that we live with are truly a fabric of life, not just in America, worldwide. I grew up in a Baptist family, and my grandfather was a Baptist minister, so I was heavily, inoculated or heard a lot of the Reverend C.L. Franklin's sermons on 78 RPM records. My grandfather played them a lot. That's how I first heard Aretha Franklin, was her gospel recordings and then the stuff she did on Columbia. I always think of Mahalia Jackson too when I think about this. So even though growing up I didn't perceive Aretha Franklin in a motherly way, part of my grief is like, it's hard to put into words, but Aretha's influence for me was beyond just her being a great singer. There was something very comforting about the fact that the woman existed. And her passing is huge. We've lost. There's only one Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul. How about just the Queen? I have a show tonight with my punk rock band R.I.P, and is there a direct influence on my playing punk and Aretha? Yes. The whole notion of feeling every note. Feel. It's about where the music is coming from. A place so deep inside, it's like it's coming from the foundation of life itself. That informs the way I play. I try to do that in all the projects I do. I try to play with purity of intent, which is play with real feeling and intent. Part of where I learned that from, besides other great musicians, including my parents, is Aretha Franklin, without a doubt. So, don't have any Aretha Franklin albums anymore. I did as a kid. I pulled up some singles to play this morning, and it was part of where it was hard to not cry, hearing her voice and what she does with it. Look Into Your Heart, in particular, I'll show this one here by Aretha Franklin. I don't have her greatest hits on 45. I probably did at one time. That one in particular, Look Into Your Heart, when I was in a band with my dad and my brothers, back when I was just out of my teens, early 20s, we covered that song. And we had a woman named Brenda Starr Nelson. She sang it well. She could sing. So, Aretha Franklin. And if there's one thing of hers recently that she's done that I would encourage you to see, it's the Carole King tribute, where she sings that song, I think it's Natural Woman. I can't get through that without busting into tears of just deep beyond words how it makes you feel. Aretha Franklin, such a spirit, you know. Man, it just, I agree with P Jr. Yeah, it does feel like the angels are leaving us behind in all of this darkness, you know, this evil, low energy that's just blanketing the planet in dark days, you know, and Aretha leaves us. So I was playing Bowie again, finding this strangely comforting to listen to Bowie after listening to some Aretha Franklin. I got to the point where I had to take it off. It's just too much. So, rest in peace. I can't say enough how deeply important Aretha Franklin has been and continues to be to my existence.